This is probably one of the most involved recipes I've made. The idea just came into my head. Why? I don't know. Oh, I know why. Because we just, not that I didn't have one of these years ago, but I haven't had the one I had for like maybe 10 years. And each time I wanted to make something, I go, oh, I don't have a mallet. Anyway, my wife went out and bought this mallet. Now I'm making something that needs a mallet. So the first thing we have to do is get rid of cook all the vegetables. Now if you can see this, there's carrots, there's the sage. Why didn't I mince that up like I did the parsley? Because I want to see it in there. There's sausage that's 80% cooked. That way I don't have all the grease in there. And there's the onions on the bottom. And this is the garlic. The garlic I buy peeled garlic. And then I put it in the Cuisinart, add virgin olive oil, and throw the whole thing in the freezer. That makes my life easier. And baby bellas. I usually use white mushrooms for almost all my recipes because of the flavor, but these are much drier, less moisture, and I don't want to have a lot in this recipe the way it's going to be made. And then there are other items. Turn that flame up all the way, thank you very much. Now if this is off a little bit with the amount, it could be too much. The adjustments will be made in the description under the video. These items here, it's a piece of cooked bacon, some craisins, zucchini, and red pepper, will be added to this almost at the end. Why? Because I want the red pepper to be firm, and the bacon is already cooked. The craisins don't have to get cooked, they just have to be mixed well. And the zucchini, cooking, because that's full of water, zucchini. So, matter of fact, I'm going to put some of the zucchini in here, which I should have done. That way, nice high flame. Now what else we need in here? Take a guess. Don't bang, people complain. Okay, fine. How about salt? Yep. Salt on this and then salt on the meats. So use some pink salt. And how about pepper? Hey, I got pepper in my pepper mill. To taste. Somebody complained, why don't you use fresh pepper? Well, you know what? The recipe is going to come out delicious whether you use fresh ground up pepper or that whole grind black pepper. Or maybe a little bit better the other way. So a high flame. Yeah, that's what I said. And I expected this to be a very nice recipe. I haven't made this before. Everything here you're looking at is things I had in my head. This one I have to go shopping for a few things. So, and then with this, after I pound out the chicken and the pork, they're going to be rolled up together. That was my idea. Instead of just using chicken, I saw a piece of pork in the refrigerator, in the freezer, I should say. And then we're going to bread this whole thing. We're going to, after we roll it up, we're going to put it in the freezer for about half hour so it's easy to handle when you have to bread it. And then I'm going to spray olive oil all over it and put it in a 400-degree 425 oven, and we'll see what we come out of. And the inside has to be colorful because it's going to be sliced and laid out like a deck of cards. Now I'm not sure how many this is going to feed yet. Depends on how I how I pound out the chicken and the pork. So That's enough explanation. And also, we have the nuts. Now, one thing, if I showed you what sauce I really want to make with this would be an hour video. So you can put your own sauce on this. You wouldn't, the only sauce I would say you wouldn't put on this is a fish sauce. Do we agree? I think so. So, most likely some kind of chicken sauce, some kind of tomato sauce. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little butter in the pan, put some parsley and garlic, and since I want to see this chicken dish on the plate, that's why I am not making a sauce to cover it that you can't see through. This you can see through, and I expect the inside of this to be very, very pretty, because we have some of the ingredients here I put for color and for taste. The carrots, not too much of a taste, but for color. And the mushrooms for flavor and for looks. So this is about enough, because this is going to be cooked in the oven, and if the carrots are a little crunchy, that's perfectly all right. You'll think they're nuts, which is going in here also. So let me put this in, because we're going to be done in 2 minutes with this. You're going to get an idea of how much there is. Nice high flame. Now moisture is going to come out because of the zucchinis in there. And I'm going to put in there, you see, I only used sage. Now that's your preference. If you want to try and use fresh herbs in this recipe, because you're spending a lot of time with it and you want to really get the true flavor of it. But if not, so use dry. Your choice, whatever you like. And the parsley, I'm only going to put a little parsley in here, because the rest of the parsley I need for the topping to go on this. That looks like a nice, you know, this is almost like a ratatouille. You rat. Now if you mixed rice in with this, cooked rice, then you'd have a rice stuffing. Not a bad idea either. That's enough. Now we're going to add the rest what goes in there, the chopped pecans, and just half of the parsley I need, or a little more than half. Yeah, a little more than half. The rest is in the topping. Now, you have to let this cool, so my suggestion is that you do this the day before, because this is going to take a long time to cool, even if you put it in the refrigerator. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the freezer, because I have to finish this video. I can't wait hours. So I'm going to put this on a plate, put the plate in the freezer, and then we're going to work on the chicken next. Not chicken next, chicken next. As usual, I forgot something. So I quickly diced up the mango, saving this part right here for me to munch on. So most mangoes are about the same size. So I say one mango without the meat that's on this, which is a good amount. This will take a minute just to get the flavors together. And I wrote optional because maybe you don't want to use it, but I like mango, so does my wife, and I've used it in a lot of recipes, and it usually works out. So there, you have a nice mix. Now I can go about getting this in the freezer. This piece of chicken breast was about 7 ounces. I split it but not all the way through, and opened it up to make it easier to bang. And there's saran wrap under it, and then a double piece on top. And I'm going to lay this off to the side and then bang out a piece of the pork. I don't want to make it paper thin, but as you can see, that's about 1/4 of an inch. So, you take this and just put it there. And the pork was similar. It was a, whatever ounce I had there, that was 1 piece. What I put down there for the pork, yeah, 9 ounces. So this is about 4.5 to 5 ounces. And the same thing. Double piece of film, because you don't want to bang through. Well, it wouldn't matter. I mean, you don't have to put a piece on top. You could just use this. And I don't use the flat part. I use this. Easier. Pork takes more because it's a tighter meat. So you got to work it a little bit more. Put some muscle into it. This piece I don't mind if it comes out very, very thin because it'll be on the inside. I'm going to take these pieces, put them in the refrigerator, because you see how thin that is? You can almost see through it. So I have these 2 pieces, put them on a plate, put them in the refrigerator, wrap a little saran wrap on top so this doesn't dry out, and then we'll continue. Let's see if it really makes a difference. This breast I didn't cut in half. If you're not good with splitting the chicken in half, then just put the whole thing in there like this, because it's pretty good, but it's not getting that rounded look. Yeah, it's coming. Anyway, now let's get rolling on this. We're going to season this a little. The pepper, you put what you like. You can see it. The salt, you can go easy on the salt, very easy, because you already seasoned the vegetables. And you have ricotta cheese in there, parmesan, which are salty. So then we'll take this spread, and by looking at what I have here, I am pretty sure that it's enough for I just preheated I'm not going to say preheated. I just heated the oven to 4 1/4. And that should be enough for this. Now we take the piece of pork and lay it on there. Okay, so now I see it's going to roll this way. Not this way, it'll be way too fat. And it's going to be fat this way also. So, we are going to put a drop more filling in there. And I can also see that this one piece here is enough for 2 people, easily. Because you have half the amount of pork that's on the recipe, which is what, half of 9 ounces and then half of 15 ounces with the chicken. Well, that's plenty. So now we have the other one left over, which I'm just going to fill with the remainder of the stuffing. And this stuffing is enough. I'll figure it out after I'm done. Now I'm going to roll this nice and easy. See if it went all the way around. Not quite. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a piece. No, we're not. We're going to leave this. Just leave it like that. Take this now. I need another piece of saran wrap. This is going to work. Don't worry about it. Take another piece of saran wrap. Make like you're making sushi. And just roll whatever you got here together. That's all. There. Now take this piece, put it in the freezer for about 1 hour. Then we're going to bread it. Now what am I going to do with this? I'm going to fill it with the remainder and make a small one. Well, it's taken about 4 hours for this piece to firm up enough so I can handle it. Anyway, so you put it in the flour first, roll it around. Got to get all of it covered because it has to go in the egg. And the same thing in the egg. It's got to cover it. Okay. There goes one. And I'm having a problem. There's not enough room in there. So, let me get something else. Okay. We continue now. Lightly dust it in flour. Roll it in the egg. Make sure you get the egg all over. So we're going to have to use a little assistance, which will be this. Because it's not 100% cylindrical, so we got to get this egg on there as best we can. And then with your hands being dry, we'll put it into the breadcrumbs. Otherwise, the breadcrumbs will be sticking all over your fingers. And you can't have that. So, you take a tool, lift it up, and place it in there. Now, Now you can get your hands in there and knock over the camera. Thank you very much. There you go. And these are panko breadcrumbs. Good job, nicely coated. Place it in the pan, and then I'll do the other one. Spread it now. I'm going to spray olive oil. All over. And it's in convection roast. Convection roast, you get more color. And as soon as it reaches the temperature, I set it at 425. I'm going to put it in. Set it for a half hour and then check it. Well, this is what we got when we're done. Now I'm going to slice them, put them on the plate, and figure out how many portions this recipe made. Now we'll just finish it off with the sauce, which I told you I was making earlier. Just the garlic, butter, olive oil, and parsley. So high visibility. And there you go.